Hello. I'm going to give a talk on suffering, but not suffering as you might think it to be. Not lying in a hospital bed at the end of your life, but the things that happen every day in the mind that wear us down. And a word on these talks. I'm going to give them regularly, and I think it would be really beneficial for you if you closed your eyes, as if meditating, and listened to the silence in between the words I say. Because that's where the real value lies. As you listen to the silence, some of the words I say will strike home. And they may be of great use to you. And if they're not, discard them. So suffering. We can look at the world today, the terrible things that are unfolding, that the so-called elites of this world are engaging in. Despicable crimes, way beyond the comprehension of a normal human being. But it's worth asking this question. Were they born this way? Psychopathic? Or did they have the great misfortune, should I say? Did they have the great misfortune of everything going their way? Did they get everything they asked for? The world provided. And they never learned that the world is not enough. Not for one man's greed. But it's enough, as you may have heard, for everyone's need. We know through reports on pornography that it gets more and more extreme as we become numb to just another human body. We chase more. And I think that's what's happened here. With these sadistic people, they've had everything. Nothing quite hits the mark. Or at least, not like it did the first and the second and the third time you did it. So they look for more. And the biggest tragedy is to get that more. Because you cannot fulfill yourself in this way. It's just not possible. The Buddha said that quenching our desires is like drinking salt water to quench our thirst. It just makes you more thirsty. And we suffer, don't we? Why? Do you not catch yourself time and time again in a state of anxiety, worry, fear? What if, what if? This is the suffering I'm talking about. This demand for the world to be a certain way, to obey us. It's never going to work. And have you not noticed that when you get your ducks in a row, when the world is finally working your way, when everything's perfect, isn't there just that thought in your mind, this is going to end? And doesn't that colour the whole experience? There's that song, Lou Reed, I believe. Perfect Day. Is there such a thing? Yes. But that perfection lies inside each and every one of us. All we have to do is turn within, meditate, come to silence and peace, and live from that. Live a good life, being kind and helpful, being grateful for what you have, not looking for more, because more just brings the desire for more. There's nothing wrong with things, with having things in your life, having a great wardrobe or a beautiful house. It's the relationship to your possessions that causes you suffering, not the possessions themselves. King Ashoka, he was an Indian king, conquering land after land, mighty. And one day he looked out upon the battlefield. He'd just conquered more land. He wasn't satisfied. And he saw the corpses of tens of thousands, freshly slayed, vultures picking at the flesh of the dead and dying. A horrific sight. And he looked over and he saw the robe of a monk stepping over the bodies, smiling. He had nothing in his hand but his begging bowl. He wore nothing but a robe. Bring that man to me. He ordered. And he asked him, how can you walk amongst the dead and dying, uncaring, smiling? You have nothing. I have everything. The monk told him, that that wasn't the way to happiness, to look out into the world, to look through the eyes of greed, and to get more and more and more. The way is inside of you. And he taught him the Buddha's teachings, and the monk adopted the practice. King Ashoka adopted the practice. No edits. He adopted the practice and found happiness. Spent the rest of his life spreading it. He's responsible for its spread even into Sri Lanka. And it's said that if it wasn't for him, Buddhism may not have survived. So catch yourself. Catch yourself suffering. Catch yourself wanting the world to be other than it is. And you can say, this is a moment of suffering. Call it out. And instead, sit quietly and let the wisdom, the natural wisdom that's within you, rise. So I'll be doing these talks regularly, sometimes on live, so do follow me and you'll see them. Like, subscribe, and all of those things that people on YouTube ask. And I intend to do something quite differently here. I intend to sit in silence and let things come up. Sometimes it will be absolute rubbish. But amongst that, you may find the occasional bit of gold. So come to this practice open-minded, and just sit in peace. You've done enough scrolling. Have a wonderful day.